Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Harmon Speaks. You're asking yourself, why is that fool standing out in the 90-degree parking lot? Well, it's because we love you, of course. And we wanted to show you the outside of this beautiful building, this great mural. This is Spark. And we're going to learn about Spark today and learn what they do for people in this community. And we're going to learn most of it from my friend here. This is Miss Dr. Laura Payne. Say hi, Dr. Payne.
Hey, glad to see you all.
There you go. We're going to get out of this heat now and tell you a little bit about what Spark does. If you are a person with a disability and feel like there's something that stands between you and getting out into the world, this is the place you need to come talk to. These folk can help you. Let's go inside and see how.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right, we're inside now with Spark, and we got two experts here with us that are going to enlighten us. And as I told you earlier, one of the things that we really shoot for here is to encourage people with any kind of difference, any kind of disability at all, to get out into the world and enjoy your life. And I found a couple of people who have made that their life mission. Meet first my friend Nancy. Hi Nancy, how are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
I'm doing great, and I appreciate you being a part of the show.
Thank you.
Would you let me know a little bit about what you do here?
Yes, I am visually impaired. I have retinitis pigmentosa, and I'm the certified JAWS instructor. That is
what?
Certified JAWS instructor.
Okay.
It's a screen reading software that allows visually impaired as well as blind people to actually use the computer as if you were sighted.
Okay. How does it do that?
Well, through a series of keystrokes that you learn and utilize, and you maneuver around web pages and Microsoft Office products just as if you could see, but instead of using the mouse, you use keystrokes to move to certain areas that you want to look at.
Okay.
And on Mondays, I'm trying to start a support group for the visually impaired. At 11, from 11 to 12. And I teach voiceover, which is the Apple's screen reader for the iPhone. Okay. And I teach that on Mondays from 10 to 11. Okay. So anybody, come and join us here, because I'm very excited. I spent a lot of time trying to find a path to go somewhere, because when you're visually impaired, it's like you're no good anymore. Okay. It's like, no, you can't do anything. You can't do this, you can't do an office job, and it's like, well, I'm going to make a difference. That is not true. That is not true, because here I am working at Spark, teaching, this computer software, among other things, and I encourage people, life is not over, it's just going to be different, and step out there and go for it.
What would you tell a potential employer if he's looking to hire somebody that he finds out that is visually impaired, to encourage him to go ahead and hire that person?
Well, as far as, there are many benefits to that. Number one, you're going to get a very dedicated worker, because they have fought hard to be able to get to where they are, and they're going to be very loyal. So I would advise them to do that. Your skills are not any less. We just perform them in a different way. So we're still highly intelligent, well-educated people, just doing things a different way. Sure. And, there are benefits too, tax benefits for, a company that is working someone that is disabled.
That's fantastic. So if they needed to get some specific programming for the computer, is there help for them to get that? Or is that cost effective? How do you do that? Well,
for like individuals that are going to be studying personally JAWS before they go out into the marketplace, if you're connected with Tennessee Voc Rehab, they supply those avenues for people to be able to train on JAWS. JAWS is not, for a personal license, is not expensive. It's like $90 a year. And you can come here for training. There is a fee for that, but it's not expensive. And once again, if you're with Tennessee Voc Rehab, that will provide for that. And then also, Tennessee Voc Rehab will provide for a lot of things to get you back in the workforce.
Great. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now tell me a little bit about you. You were talking about how you were never the sedentary, lost person. Tell me how you got into the world and did what you do.
Well, I was considered legally blind in 2002, but I still had vision to drive. I probably should not have driven, but you know, I was. And because I was within a 10% peripheral visual field at that time, but still had pretty good accuracy in the central vision field. And I went on doing great. I had retired from dental hygiene because I felt like I could no longer serve my clients like I needed to. And at that time, in 2002, I went on disability. But I stayed very busy. I had a son that lived with me for 3 years that had 3 small grandchildren that came over all the time. So very involved with that. Then moved to Lenore City to be near my mother. She had health ailments and passed away, very involved with taking care of her. Then back to taking care of my little grandson that had turned into a big grandson for a couple of years. And about the time all of that came to an end, I lost a ton of vision. And I could no longer drive, and things were blurry. And I have to admit, I spent about a year and a half on a pity party, and you just feel that way. You know, I can't do anything. I was telling myself that. But the whole world tells you that. And I'm aware of that. You know, they look at you as less than capable, regardless of. And I thought, I can't do this. I can't do this. So I reached out to Buck Rehab, and I was involved with them for quite some time. Wound up here for an evaluation and met Laura, which has been an amazing journey. And through Buck Rehab, through Buck Rehab, I took the JAWS lessons, the same thing that I am doing now. And here I am hired. So,
and now you teach it.
Now I teach it.
Fantastic.
Want to do anything and everything I can to connect with all visually impaired or blind people out there, because life is not over. You know, you can get cane training. If you need a guide dog, you can get a guide dog. There are so many avenues. You know.
And there is no stop.
You
can do whatever you want.
You can do whatever you want. You just do it different. You know, and you have to learn. You learn to do it different. I don't sit in front of my computer and click on a mouse. But I just use keystrokes and shop on Walmart and put things in my cart and just like a normal person.
Do you feel good when people say you inspire them?
I do. You know,
you inspire me.
Well, thank you so much. You know, I know there have been people that will get offended by such a thing, but it doesn't offend me because I want to inspire people to come out in the world, to come to a support group, because there's nothing better than talking to someone that's in your same boat, so to speak. Whether you come up with solutions, it doesn't matter. You can just all get there and talk about your life experiences to help them to be able to use a computer, to return to work, to you know, find purpose and value again. That's just the desire of my heart.
And that's fantastic. That's exactly why we exist. And I appreciate your story. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
How does it feel to know that while you're working here, you're changing people's lives?
It's, well, you're going to make me stop just a minute. Because it's the people that are changing their lives, but I get to be witness to that.
That's fair.
And help do that.
That's very fair.
That's what really.
That's very fair.
That's what makes the difference for me.
But when they encounter you, they get the hope and the inspiration to change their lives.
Yeah, it's a great.
I'm going to put some of it back on you whether you wanted to know.
Okay.
I've known to be perfectly candid with you. I've known this young lady for a long time. Ever since I first met her, she's been changing people's lives. So I think you're a marvelous human being. So I want to know, how does it feel to you to know when somebody like Nancy comes in that you can help her?
Yeah, it's a gift. I mean, we were in this room, and I can tell you that Nancy did not really I believed her when she said she wanted to work. Her VR counselor believed her when she said she wanted to work. It had been quite a journey, and when she got to us, it was right before COVID. When it all went into place in March, and how far she has come in the last year. The great thing is she's a generous person, and we've come right with her.
That's
Our staff, we all believe in the power of software like JAWS and other things, but we as a staff, there was not a person who knew how to use it. Now Nancy can teach anybody and everybody, and so it's a great thing, but it's also it's a sense of relief as well to know that this software is available in her life and the times in her life she's had the time in the last year to really learn how to use it. The other thing I think is great is that we've connected with VR counselors, with the Access program, with the Signal Center in Chattanooga, who provided the online training. So, just to watch her go along and be part of that path is a very important thing.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
We're going to move along now to another room, right?
Okay.
All right, thank you. Welcome back. We're now being joined by Mary Tom. I'm learning this name, Mary Tom. And Mary Tom's a delightful person. Is going to talk to us a little bit about what goes on in this room.
So in this room, we clean computers and tablets and even cell phones, and then we put a open source operating system on it, and sometimes particular software that someone needs for hearing or speech or seeing, and then they go out into the community. We're in the process of developing a way to get more computers because people need them all the time. And a brand new computer can cost quite a pretty penny. And for folks with a disability, this is the key to communication to the outside world. Whether they are homebound or whether they are trying to get a job or whatever the situation is, this is a really important part of what we do here at Spark.
If somebody wanted to donate a computer to your program, do you have limits? Like, does it have to be certain years old? Or?
They're on our website, and we do have some limitations because if it's too old, we can't get enough. The newer software that they need doesn't work on it. So if they go to our website, www.sparktn.org, they can find the specifications for that.
As I think there's a chipmunk inside of my old computer. You probably don't want that.
I don't need chipmunks.
Yeah, I understand.
I don't need chipmunks.
Where should we go? Where should we go next?
Let's go into the toy lending library.
Great. Okay.
All right.
Join us there.
This is called the Treasure Trove Lending Library, Toy Lending Library. And it doesn't look too full yet, but we are building up a library of toys that families can borrow. We have an event every year called Toy Tech, and that's toys that have been adapted for children whose hands do not work in traditional ways, and who could put a switch on the side of a wheelchair or on their cheek, and then the toy will operate in the same way it does for anybody else.
Fantastic.
And last year at our Toy Tech, we gave away 100 toys to children. So we are going to do that now so that you can get, why would you want a toy just one time a year? You want a toy, and you want different toys.
I do.
So we are adapting lots of different toys. This is an emerging program, and we'd love for families to get involved. It's like a Netflix subscription. For $60 for the whole year, you can have unlimited numbers of toys. You can come in here and get them, or if you live far away, we can ship them to you. And we'll charge you for the shipping and handling, but it's not that much. And you can do it over and over and over again. So like Netflix, if you just use one time a year, well, you don't get much out of it. But we're probably added another 10 toys, which are headed this way right now, that we'll be giving out to kids. And we're not just doing toys for children with physical disabilities, we're also doing toys for children with developmental disabilities that, because practitioners have said to us that that's part of what they would like. So maybe this toy is about sound and making different sounds. Another toy might be about just using different ways of touching things or communicating, that sort of thing. So we've added a lot of those toys based on what therapists have told us they would like. We make these switches downstairs. Looks like a pizza box. And each switch goes on a toy. And we adapt these here ourselves. This is a toy that under normal circumstances would not have all of this connected to it. It would be just this. It would just be this toy. Like all that. So what we do is we get inside the toy and we take the innards apart. I even have my own toolkit. I can do this too. And we connect this in there. And it's like this. And then we make these switches like this. And then when they're hooked together, you can go here. And we also adapt them with a group of people called the Knox Makers. And makers live in our basement, and they're very cool. They're not like trolls. They're like regular people. Yep. They're regular people who love to tinker. It's called a club for nerds. And there's robotics, there's leatherworking, there's electronics, there's woodworking, laser cutting, anything that you can imagine that you could do as a crafter or a maker. And they live in our basement because they help us design things like this switch. So for instance, this is a pretty decent switch. It has, if you press it anywhere on the switch, it'll click it. So a child could hit it there and it would work when it's all glued together. But it's made out of cardboard. And cardboard is, I bet you're a messy guy.
I am a messy guy.
So you probably get this all messy real fast. And the cardboard would disintegrate, wouldn't it? You'd be guaranteed to do that.
Yeah, I'd spill something on it.
Yeah, you would. So we're trying to invent one downstairs that will be more durable than this. And we will. We will eventually do that. Because these switches, if you buy them at a store, like 50, 60 bucks. These are pennies on a dollar. So eventually we'd like to be able to get these into parents' hands so that they wouldn't have to spend as much money. And makers help us do a lot of things. So this afternoon, at the end of the day, we have a little guy coming who uses a wheelchair, and he has a great new wheelchair for school and carpeted areas and sidewalks, but he and his family like to hike. And he's too big now for his dad to carry him. So we have assembled a group of people from a number of walks of life. We have an engineer from the UT engineering department. We have a woman who runs a club called Living Without Limits. And she's a student at UT. And she was born without a hand. And so she started she 3D printed herself a hand. But she said it's extremely uncomfortable. We 3D printed a hand. Cool thing.
I could have a hand?
Yeah, you could if you wanted to.
I don't.
But you could.
I would do something bad with it. Like flip a middle finger or something.
Well, we could get one that just had that for you.
That would be a great idea.
That would be a great idea. It would be a little crude, but you know, there you go. If it made you laugh, then we'd do it.
And there you go.
So she didn't like that hand, and so she's explored a number of other kinds of ways to build a hand. But then she started this club of Living Without Limits. And she will be here tonight. And then we have a board member who's an artist who does product design. And that is, I want to make a better water cooler, or I want to do whatever. And so she'll be here, and several of our makers, and we are going to design a wheelchair.
Wow, that's great.
And then we're going to figure out how to make that wheelchair work. Because what do wheelchairs cost?
I don't know.
A bazillion.
Yeah, a lot of money.
Right, and you only get one, I didn't know this until fairly recently, but if you need a wheelchair, you can have one about every 5 years.
Right.
And that's it.
Right.
And if you need more than one wheelchair, that's too bad.
Right.
Just too bad. So we knew this guy who had had a stroke and he used a wheelchair. And then he became a lot sicker and had to lose both his legs.
Okay.
And one wheelchair for that doesn't work the same way another wheelchair works. So he needed a different wheelchair. He was denied by insurance for the new wheelchair that he needed.
That's incredible.
It was incredible. So we got him a wheelchair.
Right.
We had one that worked. So this time we're going to revamp a wheelchair. And I'm very excited about that project.
That's a great project.
Yeah.
I like that very much.
Yeah, it's going to be a cool thing. So we do this kind of innovation as people ask for it. We made a light table for a mom with 2 kids who have autism and some other disabilities. If you ask us, we're going to try to figure out how to do it.
That's fantastic.
We may not know, but our goal is for you to live without limits. And we also feel like that, like you do, that living with a disability should not be about stopping life.
Right.
It should be about diving in.
Figuring out how you do it, right?
Right?
Right.
Figuring it out.
Sure.
We all have to figure out things in life.
That's correct.
And so this is no different.
Right.
We also want to be a place at Spark where you can come and have a good laugh. You can come and feel safe. You can come and feel whatever you need to feel. You can feel sad too if you need to. We want to be a place where you can have all the feelings.
Right. And that's fantastic. I'm really impressed with this program. I'm really, really appreciative that you let us come over and look around today. It's been a delight for me. I'm trying to think of what I want this for. I'm going to attach it to my son to see if he works better. I love you, buddy. Mary Tom, I really do appreciate you showing us around and showing us what a wonderful place you have here. I am amazed at all the wonderful things you are doing, and I've not met a sad person in the building since I've been here. Everybody's happy, everybody's working hard. It's a wonderful environment.
The pleasure has been ours.
Well, that's
absolutely.
I hope if you ever need help from me in the future, you will call on me and let me know.
And you, us.
I really would love to help out any way I could.
You come back anytime and hang out.
I'm a retired man. The only thing I do is get my wife's way. So give me a call. I'll come over and help. I promise you I will.
It has been a pleasure.
I've enjoyed it. Thank you. I'm going to hug you.
Yes.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
This is wonderful. Thank you for joining us today for Harmon Speaks. Please remember, if you are a person with a disability or a person with a difference, as I prefer to say it, please remember there are a lot of us out here who are rooting for you, are cheering for you, and can help you in a very practical way if you need that help. Please get out into the world. Please show everybody what a magnificent human being you are. I'm proud of you. I look forward to meeting you, and thank you for watching the episode today.